I'm all alone and blue. I still love you, dear, I wish you were here. Come back and forgive me, please do. Oh, how I miss you tonight, miss you while lights are low. Oh, how I need you tonight, more than you'll ever know. I made believe for a while, hiding each tear with a smile, but my heart won't stop aching. Please keep it from breaking. Oh, Pan, how I miss you tonight. Although you are gone, still love lingers on. I just can't believe it true. Awake or asleep, my thoughts seem to creep right back to the days spent with you. Oh, how I miss you tonight, miss you while lights are low. Oh, how I need you tonight, more than you'll ever know. I made believe for a while, hiding each tear with a smile, but my heart won't stop aching. Please keep it from breaking. Oh, Pan, how I miss you tonight.
How do you do, Lady Windermere?
How do you do, Lord Darlington? No, I can't shake hands with you. My hands are all wet with these roses. Aren't they lovely? They came up from Selby this morning.
They're quite perfect. Oh, what a wonderful fan. Now look at it.
Do. Pretty, isn't it? It's got my name on it and everything. It's my husband's birthday present to me. You know today is my birthday.
I wish I'd known it was your birthday, Lady Windermere. I'd have covered the whole street in front of your house with flowers for you to walk on.
Lord Darlington, you annoyed me last night at the Foreign Office, and I am afraid you are going to annoy me again.
I'm quite miserable, Lady Windermere. You must tell me what I did.
Well, you kept paying me elaborate compliments the whole evening.
Nowadays, we're all of us so hard up, the only pleasant things to pay are compliments. They're the only things we can pay.
No, I am talking very seriously. You mustn't laugh. I am quite serious. I don't like compliments, and I don't see why a man should think he is pleasing a woman enormously when he says to her a whole heap of things that he doesn't mean.
Ah, but I did mean them.
I hope not. I should be sorry to have to quarrel with you, Lord Darlington. I like you very much, you know that, but I shouldn't like you at all if I thought you were what most other men are. Believe me, you are better than most other men, and sometimes think you pretend to be worse.
Oh, nowadays, so many conceited people go about society pretending to be good that I think it shows rather a sweet and modest disposition to pretend to be bad. Besides, there's this to be said. If you pretend to be good, the world takes you very seriously. If you pretend to be bad, it doesn't. Such is the astounding stupidity of optimism.
Don't you want the world to take you seriously then, Lord Darlington?
No, not the world. Who are the people the world takes seriously? All the dull people one can think of, from the bishops down to the bores. I should like you to take me very seriously, Lady Windermere. You more than anyone else in life.
You think I am a Puritan, I suppose. Well, I have something of the Puritan in me. I was brought up like that. I'm glad of it. My mother died when I was a mere child. I lived always with Lady Julia, my father's elder sister, you know. She was stern to me, but she taught me what the world is forgetting, the difference that there is between what is right and what is wrong. She allowed of no compromise. I allow of none. Nowadays, people seem to look on life and love as a speculation. It is not a speculation. It is a sacrament. Its ideal is love. Its purification is sacrifice.
Do you think then, of course, I'm only putting an imaginary instance, do you think that in the case of a young married couple, say about 2 years married, if the husband suddenly becomes the intimate friend of a woman of, well, more than doubtful character, is always calling on her, lunching with her, probably paying her bills, do you think that the wife should not console herself?
Console herself?
Yes, I think she should. I think she has the right.
Because the husband is vile, should the wife be vile also?
Must say, I think you're very hard on modern life, Lady Windermere. Of course, there's much against it, I admit. Most women, for instance, nowadays are rather mercenary.
Don't talk about such people.
Well then, setting aside the mercenary people, who are, of course, dreadful, do you think seriously that women who have committed what the world calls a fault should never be forgiven?
I think they should never be forgiven.
I think life too complex a thing to be settled by these hard and fast rules.
If we had these hard and fast rules, we should find life much more simple.
You allow no exceptions.
None.
What a fascinating Puritan you are, Lady Windermere.
The adjective was unnecessary, Lord Darlington.
I couldn't help it. I can resist everything except temptation.
Dear Margaret, I'm so pleased to see you. You remember Agatha, don't you? How do you do, Lord Darlington? I won't let you know, my daughter. You are far too wicked.
Oh, don't say that, Duchess. As a wicked man, I'm a complete failure.
Isn't he dreadful? Agatha, this is Lord Darlington. Mind you don't believe a word he says. We have just had tea at Lady Markby's. Such bad tea, too. It was quite undrinkable. I wasn't at all surprised. Her own son-in-law supplies it. Agatha is looking forward so much to your ball tonight, dear Margaret.
Oh, you mustn't think it's going to be a ball, Duchess. It is only a dance in honour of my birthday, a small and early.
Very small, very early, and very select, Duchess.
Of course it's going to be select, but we know that, dear Margaret, about your house. It is really one of the few houses in London where I can take Agatha and where I feel perfectly secure about dear Berwick. I don't know what society is coming to. The most dreadful people seem to go everywhere. They certainly come to my parties. The men get quite furious if one doesn't ask them. Really, someone should make a stand against it.
I will, Duchess. I will have no one in my house about whom there is any scandal.
Oh, don't say that, Lady Windermere. I should never be admitted.
Oh, men don't matter. With women, it's different. We are good. Some of us are, at least. But we are positively getting elbowed into the corner. Our husbands would really forget our existence if we didn't nag at them from time to time, just to remind them we have a perfect legal right to do so.
It's a curious thing, Duchess, about the game of marriage. A game, by the way, that's going out of fashion. The wives hold all the honours and invariably lose the odd trick.
Lord Darlington is trivial.
Oh, don't say that, Lady Windermere.
Why do you talk so trivially about life then?
Because I think that life is far too important a thing ever to talk seriously about it.
What does he mean? Do as a concession to my poor wits, Lord Darlington. Just explain to me what you really mean.
I think I had better not, Duchess. Nowadays, to be intelligible is to be found out. Goodbye.
What a charming, wicked creature. I like him so much. I'm quite delighted he's gone. How sweet you're looking. Where do you get your gowns? And now I must tell you how sorry I am for you, dear Margaret. Agatha, darling.
Yes, Mamma.
Will you go and look over there at the photograph that I see?
Yes, Mamma.
Dear girl, she is so fond of photographs of Switzerland. Such a pure taste, I think. But I really am so sorry for you, Margaret, on account of that horrid woman. She dresses so well, too. What makes it much worse, she sets a dreadful example. Augustus, you know, my disreputable brother, such a trial to us all. Well, Augustus is completely infatuated about her. It is quite scandalous, for she is absolutely inadmissible into society. Many a woman has a past, but I'm told she has at least a dozen, and that they all fit.
Whom are you talking about, Duchess?
About Mrs. Erlynne.
Mrs. Erlynne? I never heard of her, Duchess. And what has she to do with me?
My poor child. Agatha, darling.
Yes, Mamma.
Will you go out on the terrace and look at the sunset?
Yes, Mamma.
Sweet girl, so devoted to sunsets. Shows such refinement of feeling, does it not? After all, there is nothing like nature, is there?
But what is it, Duchess? Why do you talk to me about this person?
Don't you really know? I assure you we're all so distressed about it. Only last night at Lady Jansen's, everyone was saying how extraordinary it was that of all men in London, Windermere should behave in such a way.
My husband? What has he got to do with any woman of that kind?
What indeed, dear? That is the point. He goes to see her continually and stops for hours at a time, and while he's there, she is not at home to anyone. Not that many ladies call on her, dear, but she has a great many disreputable men friends, my own brother particularly, as I told you. And that's what makes it so dreadful about Windermere. We looked upon him as being such a model husband. But I'm afraid there's no doubt about it. My dear nieces tell me that Windermere goes there 4, 5 times a week. They see him. They can't help it. And although they never talk scandal, well, of course, they remark on it to everyone. And the worst of it all is that I have been told that this woman has got a great deal of money out of somebody, for it seems she came to London 6 months ago without anything at all to speak of. Now she has this charming house in Mayfair, drives her ponies in the park every afternoon, and all since she's known poor dear Windermere.
Oh, I can't believe it.
But it's quite true, my dear. The whole of London knows it. That is why I felt it was better to come and talk to you and advise you to take Windermere away at once to Homburg or Aix, where he'll have something to amuse him and where you can watch him all day long.
Duchess, it's impossible. We are only married 2 years. Our child is but 6 months old. Windermere and I married for love.
Yes, we begin like that. But in fact, before the honeymoon was over, I caught Berwick winking at my maid, a most pretty, respectable girl. I dismissed her at once without character. And now, my dear child, I must go as we're dining out. And mind you don't take this little aberration too much to heart. Just take him abroad and he'll come back to you all right.
Come back to me?
Yes, dear, these wicked women get our husbands away from us, but they always come back. Slightly damaged, of course. Don't make scenes. Men hate them.
It is very kind of you, Duchess, to come and tell me all this, but I can't believe that my husband is untrue to me.
You pretty child. I was like that once. Now I know that all men are monsters. My dear Margaret, you're not going to cry?
You needn't be afraid, Duchess. I never cry.
That's quite right, dear. Agatha, darling.
Yes, Mamma.
Come and bid goodbye to Lady Windermere and thank her for your charming visit. And by the way, I must thank you for sending a card to Mr. Hopper. He's that rich young Australian people taking such notice of just at present. His father made a great fortune by selling some kind of food in circular tins, most palatable, I believe. I fancy it's the thing the servants always refuse to eat. But the son is quite interesting. I think he's attracted by dear Agatha's clever talk. Of course, we should be very sorry to lose her. But I think that a mother who doesn't part with a daughter one season has no real affection. We're coming tonight, dear. And remember, my advice, take the poor fellow out of town at once. It's the only thing to do. Goodbye once more. Come, Agatha.
Horrible, horrible. I understand now what Lord Darlington meant by the imaginary instance of the couple not 2 years married. Oh, it can't be true. She spoke of enormous sums of money paid to this woman. I know where Arthur keeps his bank book, in one of the drawers of the desk. I might find out by that. I will find out. No, it's some hideous mistake, some silly scandal. He loves me, but why should I not look? I am his wife. I have a right to look. I knew it. There's not a word of truth in this stupid story. Huh? The second book. Private. Locked. Oh. Oh. Mrs. Erlynne, £600. Mrs. Erlynne, £700. Mrs. Erlynne, £400. Oh, it's true. It's true. Oh, horrible.
Well, dear, has the fan been sent home yet? Margaret, you've cut open my bank book. You have no right to do such a thing.
You think it wrong that you are found out, don't you?
I think it wrong that a wife should spy on her husband.
I did not spy on you. I never knew of this woman's existence till half an hour ago. Someone who pitied me was kind enough to tell me what everyone in London already knows. Your daily visits to Curzon Street, your mad infatuation, the monstrous sums of money you squander on this infamous woman.
Margaret, don't talk like that of Mrs. Eyre Lynn. You don't know how unjust it is.
You are very jealous of Mrs. Erlin's honour. I wish you had been as jealous of mine.
Your honour is untouched, Margaret. You don't think for a moment that...
I think that you spend your money strangely. That is all. Oh, don't imagine I mind about the money. As far as I am concerned, you may squander everything we have. But what I do mind is that you who have loved me, you who have taught me to love you, should pass from the love that is given to the love that is bought. Oh, it's horrible. And it is I who feel degraded. You don't feel anything. I feel stained, utterly stained. You can't realise how hideous the last 6 months seems to me now. Every kiss you have given me is tainted in my memory.
Don't say that, Margaret. I never loved anyone in the whole world but you.
Who is this woman, then?
Margaret, as far as I've known Mrs. Eyre Lynn...
Is there a Mr. Erlin, or is he a myth?
Her husband died many years ago. She's alone in the world.
No relations?
None.
Rather curious, isn't it?
Margaret, I was saying to you, and I beg you to listen to me, that as far as I've known Mrs. Eyre Lynn, she's conducted herself well. If, years ago...
Oh, I don't want details about her life.
I'm not going to give you any details about her life. I tell you simply this. Mrs. Eyre Lynn was once honoured, loved, respected. She was well born. She had position. She lost everything. Threw it away, if you like. That makes it all the more bitter. Misfortunes one can endure. They come from outside. They're accidents. But to suffer for one's faults, there is the sting of life. It was 20 years ago, too. She was little more than a girl then. She'd been a wife for even less time than you had.
I am not interested in her, and you should not mention this woman and me in the same breath. It is an error of taste.
Margaret, you could save this woman. She wants to get back into society, and she wants you to help her.
Me?
Yes, you.
How impertinent of her.
Margaret, I came to ask you a great favour. I want you to send her an invitation to our party tonight.
You are mad.
I entreat you. People may chatter about her. Do chatter about her, of course. But they don't know anything definite against her. She wants you to receive her once.
As a triumph for her, I suppose.
No, but because she knows you are a good woman. That if she comes here once, she will have a chance at a happier, a surer life than she has had. She will make no further effort to know you. Won't you help a woman who is trying to get back?
No. If a woman really repents, she never wishes to return to the society that has made or seen her ruin.
I beg of you.
I'm going to dress for dinner, and don't mention the subject again this evening. Arthur, you fancy because I have no father or mother that I am alone in the world and that you can treat me as you choose. You are wrong. I have friends, many friends.
Margaret, you are talking foolishly, recklessly. I won't argue with you, but I insist upon your asking Mrs. Eyre Lynn tonight.
I shall do nothing of the kind.
You refuse?
Absolutely.
Ah, Margaret, do this for my sake. It is her last chance.
What has that to do with me?
How hard good women are.
How weak bad men are.
Margaret, none of us men may be good enough for the women we marry. That is quite true. But you don't imagine I would ever... Oh, the suggestion is monstrous.
Why should you be different from other men? I am told that there is hardly a husband in London who does not waste his life over some shameful passion.
You are sure in your heart? But don't make chasm after chasm between us. God knows the last few minutes have thrust us wide enough apart. Sit down and write the card.
Nothing in the whole world would induce me.
Then I will.
You are going to invite this woman?
Yes.
Arthur, if that woman comes here, I shall insult her.
Margaret, don't say that.
I mean it. If that woman crosses my threshold, I shall strike her across the face with my fan.
Margaret, you couldn't do such a thing.
You don't know me.
Margaret, you'll ruin us.
Us? From this moment, my life is separate from yours. But if you wish to avoid public scandal, write at once to this woman and tell her that I forbid her to come here.
Margaret! Margaret! My God, what shall I do? I dare not tell her who this woman really is. The shame would kill her.
Good evening, Lady Stutfield. I suppose this will be the last ball of the season.
I suppose so, Mr. Dumby. It's been a delightful season, hasn't it?
Quite delightful. Oh, good evening, Lady Plumdale. I suppose this will be the last ball of the season.
I suppose so, Mr. Dumby. It has been a very dull season, hasn't it?
Dreadfully dull. Dreadfully dull. Oh, dear Mr. Hopper, how nice of you to come so early. We all know how you are run after in London.
Good night, good night.
Oh, we know your value, Mr. Hopper. We wish there were more like you. It would make life so much easier. Do you know, Mr. Hopper, dear Agatha and I are so much interested in Australia. It must be so pretty with all the dear little kangaroos flying about. Agatha has found it on the map. What a curious shape it is, just like a large packing case. However, it is a very young country, isn't it?
Sure, Blue, yeah, all right, yeah, sure.
Well, I hope she has a dance left. Have you a dance left, Agatha?
Yes, Mamma.
The next one?
Yes, Mamma.
Mind you take great care of my little chatterbox, Mr. Hopper.
Margaret, I want to speak to you.
Moment.
Good evening, Lady Windermere. Want to speak to you particularly, dear boy. I'm worn to a shadow. No, I don't look it. None of us men do look what we really are. Damn good thing too. What I want to know is, who is she? Where does she come from? Why hasn't she got any damned relations? Damn nuisance, damn relations, but they make one so damned respectable.
You are talking of Mrs. Eyre Lynn, I suppose. I only met her 6 months ago. Till then, I never knew of her existence.
You have seen a good deal of her since then.
Yes, I have seen a good deal of her since then. I've just seen her.
Gad, the women are very down on her. But look here, dear boy, I don't know what to do about Mrs. Erlin. Egad, I might be married to her. She treats me with such damned indifference. She's deuced clever too. She explains everything. Egad, she explains you. She's got any amount of explanations for you, and they're all different.
No explanations are necessary about my friendship with Mrs. Eyre Lynn.
Him. Well, look here, dear old fellow. Do you think she will ever get into this damn thing called society? Would you introduce her to your wife? No use beating about the confounded bush. Would you do that?
She's coming here tonight.
Then she's all right, dear boy. But why didn't you tell me that before? It would have saved me a heap of worry and damn misunderstandings.
Good evening, Arthur. Why don't you ask me how I am? I like people to ask me how I am. It shows a widespread interest in my health. Now, tonight, I am not at all well. Been dining with my people. Why wonder why it's one's people are always so tedious. My father would talk morality after dinner. I told him he was old enough to know better. But my experience is that as soon as people are old enough to know better, they don't know anything at all. Ah, hello, Tuppy. Here you're going to be married again. Thought you were tired of that game.
You're excessively trivial, my dear boy. Excessively trivial.
By the way, Tuppy, which is it? Have you been twice married and once divorced, or twice divorced and once married? I say you've been twice divorced and once married. It seems so much more probable.
I've a very bad memory. I really don't remember which.
Lord Windermere, I've something most particular to ask you.
I'm afraid, if you'll excuse me, I must join my wife.
Oh, you mustn't dream of such a thing. It's most dangerous nowadays for a husband to pay any attention to his wife in public. It always makes people think that he beats her when they're alone. The world has grown so suspicious of anything that looks like a happy married life. But I'll tell you what it is at supper.
Margaret, I must speak to you.
You hold my fan for me, Lord Darlington. Thanks.
Margaret, what you said before dinner was, of course, impossible.
That woman is not coming here tonight.
Mrs. Eyre Lynn is coming here. And if you in any way annoy or wound her, you will bring shame and sorrow on us both. Remember that. Ah, Margaret, only trust me. A wife should trust her husband.
London is full of women who trust their husbands. One can always recognize them. They look so thoroughly unhappy. I am not going to be one of them. Lord Darlington, will you give me back my fan, please? Thanks. A useful thing, a fan, isn't it? I want a friend tonight, Lord Darlington. I didn't know I would want one so soon.
Lady Windermere, I knew the time would come someday, but why tonight?
I will tell her. I must. It would be terrible if there were any scene. Margaret.
You've dropped your fan, Lady Windermere.
How do you do again, Lord Windermere? How charming your sweet wife looks. Quite a picture.
It was terribly rash of you to come.
Oh, the wisest thing I ever did in my life. And by the way, you must pay me a great deal of attention this evening. I'm afraid of the women. You must introduce me to some of them. The men I can always manage. Oh, how do you do, Lord Augustus? You have quite neglected me lately. I have not seen you since yesterday. I'm afraid you're faithless. Everyone told me so.
Mrs. Erlin, allow me to explain.
Excuse me.
Oh no, dear Augustus. You can't explain anything. It is your chief charm.
Ah, if you find charms in me, Mrs. Erlin.
How pale you are.
Oats are always pale.
You look faint. Come out on the terrace.
Yes. Parker, send my cloak out.
Lady Windermere, how beautifully your terrace is illuminated. It reminds me of Prince Doria's at Rome. Oh, so pleased to meet you, Lady Jedburgh. Your nephew and I are great friends. I'm so much interested in his political career. I think he's sure to be a wonderful success. He thinks like a Tory and talks like a radical, and that's so important nowadays. He's such a brilliant talker too. But we all know from whom he inherits that. Lord Allendale was saying to me only yesterday in the park that Mr. Graham talks almost as well as his aunt. On Thursday? Oh, with great pleasure. Oh, what a bore it is to have to be civil to these old dowagers, but they always insist on it. Lord Windermere insists on my dancing with him first, and as it's his own house, I can't well refuse. But you know, I'd much rather dance with you.
I wish I could think so, Mrs. Erlin.
Oh, you know it far too well. I can fancy a person dancing through life with you and finding it charming.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You are the most adorable of all ladies.
What a nice speech. So simple and so sincere, just the sort of speech I like. Well, you shall hold my bouquet.
Yes. Her coming here is monstrous, unbearable. I know now what you meant today at tea time. Why didn't you tell me right out? You should have.
I couldn't. A man can't tell these things about another man. But if I'd known he was going to make you ask her here tonight, I think I would have told you. That insult, at any rate, you'd have been spared.
I did not ask her. He insisted on her coming, against my entreaties, against my commands. Oh, the house is tainted for me. I feel that every woman here sneers at me as she dances by with my husband. What have I done to deserve this? I gave him all my life. He took it, used it, spoiled it. I am degraded in my own eyes, and I lack courage. I am a coward.
If I know you at all, I know that you can't live with a man who treats you like this. What sort of a life would you have with him? You'd feel that he was lying to you every moment of the day. You'd feel that the look in his eyes was false, his voice false, his touch false, his passion false. He'd come to you when he was weary of others. You'd have to comfort him. He'd come to you when he was devoted to others, and you'd have to charm him. You'd have to be the mask of his real life, the cloak to hide his secret.
You are right. You are terribly right. But where am I to turn? You said you would be my friend, Lord Darlington. Tell me, what am I to do? Be my friend now.
between men and women, there is no friendship possible. There's passion, enmity, worship, love, but no friendship. I love you.
No, no,
I offer you my life.
Lord Darlington.
My life, my whole life. Take it and do what you will with it. I love you. I love you as I never loved any living thing. From the moment I loved you, the moment I met you, I loved you. I loved you blindly, adoringly, madly. Leave this house tonight. I won't tell you that the world means nothing, or the world's voice, or the voice of society. They matter a great deal, matter far too much. But there are moments when one has to choose between living one's own life fully, entirely, completely, or dragging out some false, shallow, degrading existence that the world in its hypocrisy demands. You have that moment now. Choose. Oh, my love, choose.
I have not the courage.
Yes, you have the courage. All London will know why you did it. And who will blame you? No one. If they do, what matter? Wrong? What is wrong? It's wrong for a man to abandon his wife for a shameless woman. It's wrong for a wife to remain with a man who so dishonors her. You said once you'd make no compromise with things. Make none now. Be brave. Be yourself.
Oh, give me time to think. I cannot answer you now.
It must be now, or not at all.
Then, not at all.
You break my heart.
Mine is already broken.
Tomorrow I leave England. This is the last time I shall ever look on you. You'll never see me again. One moment our lives met, our souls touched. They must never meet or touch again. Goodbye, Margaret.
How alone I am in life. How terribly alone.
Oh, Lord Paisley. Ah, dear. Oh, dear Margaret. I have just been having such a delightful chat with Mrs. Erlynne. I'm so sorry for what I said to you this afternoon about her. Of course, she must be all right if you invite her. A most attractive woman, and has such sensible views on life. Told me she entirely disapproved of people marrying more than once, so I feel quite safe about poor Augustus. Can't imagine why people speak against her. It's those horrid nieces of mine. They're always talking scandal. So I should go to Homburg, dear, really I should. She's just a little too attractive. But Mr. Hopper, I am very, very angry with you. You have taken Agatha out on the terrace, and she is so delicate. To Australia? Oh, don't mention that dreadful, vulgar place.
What, why, what, wait.
Did you say that, Agatha?
Yes, Mamma.
Agatha, you say the most silly things possible. I think on the whole, Grosvenor Square would be a far more healthy place to reside in. There are lots of vulgar people living in Grosvenor Square, but at any rate, there are no horrid kangaroos crawling about. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. James, you can take Agatha down. You'll come to lunch, of course, James, at 1:30 instead of 2. The Duke will wish to say a few words to you, I'm sure. And now, good night, Margaret. I'm afraid it's the old story, love, dear. Love, well, not love at first sight, but love at the end of the season, which is so much more satisfactory.
Good night, Duchess.
Charming ball it has been. Quite reminds me of old days. And I see that there are just as many fools in society as there used to be. So pleased to find that nothing has altered. Except Margaret. She's grown quite pretty. The last time I saw her, 20 years ago, she was a fright in flannel. Positive fright, I assure you. And the dear Duchess and that sweet Lady Agatha, just the type of girl I like. Well, really, Windermere, if I am to be the Duchess's sister-in-law...
But are you?
Oh, yes. He's to call tomorrow at 12 o'clock. He wanted to propose tonight. In fact, he did. He kept on proposing. Poor Augustus. You know how he repeats himself, such a bad habit. But I told him I wouldn't give him an answer till tomorrow. Of course, I am going to take him. And I dare say I'll make him an admirable wife, as wives go. And there is a great deal of good in Lord Augustus. Fortunately, it's all on the surface, just where good qualities should be. Of course, you must help me in this matter.
I'm not called on to encourage Lord Augustus, I suppose.
Oh, no. I do the encouraging. But you will make me a handsome settlement, Windermere, won't you?
Is that what you want to talk to me about tonight?
Yes.
I will not talk of it here.
Then we will talk of it on the terrace. Even business should have a picturesque background, should it not, Windermere? With a proper background, women can do anything.
Won't tomorrow do as well?
Oh, no. You see, tomorrow I am going to accept him. And I think it would be a good thing if I was able to tell him that I had, well, what shall I say? 2,000 a year left to me by a third cousin or a second husband or some distant relative of that kind. It would be an additional attraction, wouldn't it? You have a delightful opportunity now of paying me a compliment, Windermere. But you're not very clever at paying compliments. I'm afraid Margaret doesn't encourage you in that excellent habit. It's a great mistake on her part. When men give up saying what is charming, they give up thinking what is charming. But seriously, what do you say to £2,000? Or 2,500, I think. In modern life, margin is everything. Oh, Windermere, don't you think the world an intensely amusing place? I do.
Stay in this house any longer is impossible. Tonight, the man who loves me offered me his whole life. I refused it. It was foolish of me. I will offer him mine now. I will give him mine. I will go to him. Arthur, has never understood me. When he reads this, he will. He may do as he chooses now with his life. I have done with mine as I think best, as I think right. It is he who has broken the bond of marriage, not I. I only break its bondage.
Gone out of her house. A letter addressed to her husband. Oh no, no, it would be impossible.
Sorry, I don't know.
Life doesn't repeat its tragedies like that. And why does this horrible fancy come across me? Why do I remember now the one moment of my life I most wish to forget? Does life repeat its tragedies? Oh God. How terrible. The same words that 20 years ago I wrote to her father. And how bitterly I have been punished. Oh no, my punishment, my real punishment, is tonight, is now.
Have you said good night to my wife?
Yes.
Where is she?
She's very tired. She's gone to bed. She said she had a headache.
I must go to her. You'll excuse me.
Oh, no. It's nothing serious. She's only very tired, that's all. Besides, there are people still in the supper room. She wants you to make her apologies to them. She said she didn't want to be disturbed. Will you ask them to call my carriage, please?
Certainly.
What can I do? I feel a passion awakening in me that I never felt before. What can it mean? Oh, the daughter must not be like the mother. That would be terrible. How can I save her? How can I save my child? A moment may ruin a life. Who knows that better than I? Windermere must be got out of the house. That is absolutely necessary. But how shall I do it? It must be done somehow. Ah.
Dear lady, I'm in such suspense. May I not have an answer to my request?
Lord Augustus, listen to me. You are to take Lord Windermere down to your club at once and keep him there as long as possible. Do you understand?
But you said you wished me to keep early hours.
Oh, do what I tell you. Do what I tell you.
And my reward?
Your reward? Your reward? Oh, ask me that tomorrow. But don't let Windermere out of your sight tonight. If you do, I will never forgive you. I will never speak to you again. I'll have nothing to do with you. Remember, you're to keep Windermere at your club and don't let him come back tonight.
Well, really, I might be a husband already. Positively, I might.
strong, and I'm all alone and blue. I still love you, dear, I wish you were here. Come back and forgive me, please do. Oh, how I miss you tonight, miss you while lights are low. Oh, how I need you tonight, more than you'll ever know. I made believe for a while, hiding each tear with a smile, but my heart won't stop aching. Please keep it from breaking. Oh, Pan, how I miss you tonight. Although you are gone, still love lingers on. I just can't believe it's true. Awake or asleep, my thoughts seem to creep right back to the days spent with you. Oh, how I miss you tonight, miss you while lights are low. Oh, how I need you tonight, more than you'll ever know. I made believe for a while, hiding each tear with a smile, but my heart won't stop aching. Please keep it from breaking. Oh, Pan, how I miss you tonight.
Why doesn't he come? This waiting is horrible. He should be here. Why is he not here? To wake by passionate words some fire within me. I am cold, cold as a loveless thing. Arthur must have read my letter by this time. If he cared for me, he would have come after me. But he doesn't care. He's entrammelled by this woman, fascinated by her, dominated by her. If a woman wants to hold a man, she has merely to appeal to what is worst in him. We make gods of men and they leave us. Others make brutes of them and they fawn and are faithful. How hideous life is. Oh, it's mad of me to come here. Horribly mad. No, I will go, Arthur. I will go back. Let Arthur do with me what he pleases. I can't wait here. It has been madness my coming. I must go at once. As for Lord Darlington, oh, here he is. What shall I do? What can I say to him?
Lady Windermere. Oh, thank heaven I'm in time. You must go back to your husband's house immediately.
Don't come near me.
Oh, you are on the brink of ruin. You are on the brink of a hideous precipice. You must leave this place at once. My carriage is waiting at the corner of the street. You must come with me and drive straight home. What are you doing?
Mrs. Erlynne, if you had not come here, I would have gone back. But now that I see you, I feel that nothing in the whole world would induce me to live under the same roof as Lord Windermere. You fill me with horror. There is something about you that stirs the wildest rage within me, and I know why you are here. My husband sent you to lure me back that I might serve as a blind to whatever relations exist between you and him.
Oh, you don't think that. You can't.
Go back to my husband, Mrs. Erlynne. He belongs to you and not to me. I suppose he is afraid of a scandal. Had he come himself, I admit I would have gone back to the life of degradation you and he had prepared for me. I was going back, but to stay myself at home and to send you as his messenger. Oh, it was infamous, infamous.
Lady Windermere, you wrong me horribly. You wrong your husband horribly. He doesn't know you're here. He thinks you're safe in your own house. He thinks you are asleep in your own room. He never read the mad letter you wrote to him.
How simple you think me. You are lying to me.
Your husband has never seen the letter. I saw it. I opened it. I read it.
You opened a letter of mine to my husband. You wouldn't dare.
Dare? Oh, to save you from the abyss into which you're falling, there is nothing in the world I would not dare. Nothing in the whole world. Here is the letter. Your husband has never read it. He never shall read it. It should never have been written. Oh, think as you like about me. Say what you choose against me, but go back. Go back to the husband you love.
I do not love him. He does not understand what love is. He understands it as little as you do. But I see what you want. It would be a great advantage for you to get me back. Dear heaven, what a life I would have then, living at the mercy of a woman who has neither mercy nor pity in her, a woman whom it is an infamy to meet, a degradation to know, a vile woman, a woman who comes between husband and wife.
Lady Windermere, don't say such terrible things. You don't know how terrible they are, how terrible and how unjust. Listen, you must listen. Only go back to your husband, and I promise you never to communicate with him again on any pretext, never to see him, never to have anything to do with his life or yours. The money that he gave me not through love, but through hatred, not in worship, but in contempt. The hold I have over him.
You admit you have a hold.
Yes, and I'll tell you what it is. It is his love for you, Lady Windermere.
You talk as if you had a heart. Women like you have no hearts. Heart is not in you. You are bought and sold.
Believe what you choose about me. I'm not worth a moment's sorrow. You don't know what may be in store for you unless you leave this house at once. You don't know what it is to fall into the pit, to be despised, mocked, abandoned, sneered at, to be an outcast. One pays for one's sin, and then one pays again, and all one's life one pays. You must never know that. I may have wrecked my own life, but I will not let you wreck yours. Go back, Lady Windermere. Go back to the husband who loves you, whom you love. Back to your house, Lady Windermere. Your husband loves you. Oh, Lady Windermere.
Take me home. Take me home.
Oh, come. Where is your cloak? Here. Put it on and come at once.
Stop. Don't you hear voices?
No, no, there was no one.
Yes, yes, there is. Listen. Oh, that is my husband's voice. He is coming in. Save me. Oh, it's some plot. You have sent for him.
Silence! I'm here to save you if I can. But I fear it is too late. There, the first chance you have, slip out, if you ever get a chance.
But you.
Oh, never mind me. I'll face them.
Nonsense, dear Windermere. You must not leave me.
Lord Augustus. Oh, then it is I who am lost.
What a nuisance they're turning us out of the club at this hour. It's only 2 o'clock. The lively part of the evening is only just beginning.
It is very good of you, Lord Darlington, allowing Augustus to force our company on you. But I'm afraid I can't stay long.
My dear boy, you must not dream of going. I have a great deal to talk to you about, of damned importance too.
Oh, we all know what that is, Tuppy. Tuppy can't talk about anything but Mrs. Erlynne.
Well, that is no business of yours, is it, Cecil?
None. That is why it interests me. My own business always bores me to death. I prefer other people's. Mrs. Erlynne looked very handsome tonight, didn't she?
I'm not one of her admirers.
I usedn't to be, but I am now. Why, she actually made me introduce her to poor dear Aunt Caroline. I believe she is going to lunch there.
Excuse me, you fellows. I'm going away tomorrow and I have to write a few letters.
Clever woman, Mrs. Erlynne.
Hello, Dumby. I thought you were asleep.
I am. I usually am.
A very clever woman, knows perfectly well what a damn fool I am, knows it as well as I do myself. Oh, you may laugh, my boy, but it's a great thing to come across a woman who thoroughly understands one.
It's
an awfully dangerous thing. But I thought, Tuppy, you were never going to see her again. Yes, you told me so yesterday evening at the club. You said you'd heard.
She's explained that.
And the Wiesbaden affair.
And she's explained that too.
And her income, Tuppy? Has she explained that?
She's going to explain that tomorrow.
Awfully commercial women nowadays. Our grandmothers threw their caps over the mills, of course. But by Jove, their granddaughters only throw their caps over mills that can raise the wind for them.
You want to make her out a wicked woman. She is not.
Oh, wicked women bother one. Good women bore one. That is the only difference between them.
Mrs. Erlynne has a future before her.
Mrs. Erlynne has a past before her.
I prefer women with a past. They are always so damned amusing to talk to.
Mrs. Erlynne has a very great respect for dear Tuppy.
And Mrs. Erlynne sets an admirable example to the rest of her sex. It's perfectly brutal the way most women nowadays behave to men who are not their husbands.
Dumby, you are ridiculous. And Cecil, you let your tongue run away with you. You must leave Mrs. Erlynne alone. You don't really know anything about her, and you're always talking scandal against her.
My dear Arthur, I never talk scandal. I only talk gossip.
What is the difference between scandal and gossip?
Oh, gossip is charming. History is merely gossip, but scandal is gossip made tedious by morality. Now, I never moralize. A man who moralizes is usually a hypocrite, and a woman who moralizes is invariably plain. There is nothing in the whole world so unbecoming to a woman as a nonconformist conscience, and most women know it, I'm glad to say.
Just my sentiments, dear boy. Just my sentiments.
I say, Darlington, let us have some cards. You'll play Arthur, won't you?
No thanks, Cecil.
Good heavens, how marriage ruins a man. It's as demoralizing as cigarettes and far more expensive.
You'll play, of course, Tuppy.
Can't, dear boy. Promise Mrs. Erlin never to play or drink again.
Now, my dear Tuppy, don't be led astray into the paths of virtue. Reformed, you would be perfectly tedious. That is the worst of women. They always want one to be good. And if we are good when they meet us, they don't love us at all. They like to find us quite irretrievably bad and to leave us quite unattractively good.
They always do find us bad.
I don't think we are bad. I think we're all good, except Tuppy.
No, you're all in the gutter. Some of us are looking at the stars.
All in the gutter. Some of us look at the stars. Upon my word, you are very romantic tonight, Darlington.
Too romantic. You must be in love. Who is the girl?
Woman I love is not free. I think she isn't.
A married woman, then? Well, there's nothing in the world like the devotion of a married woman. It's a thing no married man knows anything about.
No. She doesn't love me. She's a good woman. She's the only good woman I've ever met in my life.
I congratulate you, my dear fellow. In this world, there are only two tragedies. One is not getting what one wants, and the other is getting it. The last is much the worst. The last is a real tragedy. But I am interested to hear she doesn't love you. How long could you love a woman that didn't love you, Cecil?
A woman who didn't love me? Oh, all my life.
So could I, but it's so difficult to meet one.
Oh, how can you be so conceited, Dumby?
I didn't say it as a matter of conceit. I said it as a matter of regret. I've been wildly, madly adored. I am sorry I have. It's been an immense nuisance. I should like to be allowed a little time to myself now and then.
Time to educate yourself, I suppose.
No, time to forget all I have learned. That is much more important, dear Tuppy.
What cynics you fellows are.
What is a cynic?
A man who knows the price of everything and the value of nothing.
And a sentimentalist, my dear Darlington, is a man who sees an absurd value in everything and doesn't know the market price of any single thing.
You always amuse me, Cecil. You talk as if you're a man of experience.
Experience is the name everyone gives to their mistakes.
One shouldn't commit any.
But life would be terribly dull without them.
Of course, you are quite faithful to this woman you are in love with, darling, to this good woman.
Cecil, if one really loves a woman, all other women in the world become absolutely meaningless to one. Love changes one. I am changed.
Dear me, how very interesting. Happy, I want to talk to you.
It's no use talking to Tuppy. You might as well talk to a brick wall.
But I like talking to a brick wall. It's the only thing in the world that never contradicts me. Tuppy!
Well, what is it? What is it?
Come over here. I want you particularly. Darlington has been moralising and talking about the purity of love and that sort of thing, and he has got some woman in his rooms all the time.
No, really? Really?
Yes. Here is her fan.
By Jove! By Jove!
I'm really off now, Lord Darlington. I'm sorry you are leaving England so soon. Pray call on us when you come back. My wife and I would be charmed to see you.
I'm afraid I shall be away for many years. Good night.
Arthur! Arthur!
What?
I want to speak to you for a moment. No, do come.
I can't, I'm off.
It is something very particular. It will interest you enormously.
It is some of your nonsense, Cecil.
It isn't. It isn't really.
My dear fellow, you mustn't go yet. I've a lot to talk to you about, and Cecil has something to show you.
Well, what is it?
Darlington has got a woman here in his rooms. Here is her fan. Amusing, isn't it?
Good God!
What's the matter?
Lord Darlington,
Yes.
what is my wife's fan doing here in your rooms? Hands off, Cecil, don't touch me.
Your wife's fan?
Yes, here it is.
I don't know.
You must know. I demand an explanation. Don't hold me, you fool.
She's here after all.
Speak, sir. Why is my wife's fan here? Answer me, by God. I'll search your rooms, and if my wife's here, I'll...
You shall not search my rooms. You have no right to do so. I forbid you.
You scoundrel. I'll not leave your rooms till I have searched every corner of it. What moves behind that curtain?
Lord Windermere.
Mrs. Eyre Lynn.
I'm afraid I took your wife's fan in mistake for my own when I was leaving your house tonight. I am so sorry.
How can I tell him? I can't tell him. It would kill me. She is sure to tell him. Why should she hesitate between her ruin and mine? How strange. I would have publicly disgraced her in my own house. She accepts public disgrace in the house of another to save me. Oh, what a lesson. And what a pity that in life we only get our lessons when they are of no use to us.
Margaret, how pale you look.
I slept very badly.
I'm so sorry. I came in dreadfully late and didn't like to wake you. You are crying, dear.
Yes, I am crying, for I have something to tell you, Arthur.
Poor darling. We'll go away today if you like. We can easily catch the 3:40. I'll send a wire to Fannin.
Yes, let us go away today. No, I can't go today, Arthur. There is someone I must see before I leave town. Someone who has been so kind to me.
Kind to you?
Far more than that. I will tell you, Arthur. but only love me. Love me as you used to love me.
Used to? You are not thinking of that wretched woman who came here last night? You don't still imagine? No, you couldn't.
I don't. I know now I was wrong and foolish.
It was very good of you to receive her last night, but you were never to see her again.
Why do you say that?
Margaret, I thought Mrs. Eyre Lynn was a woman more sinned against than sinning, as the phrase goes. I thought she wanted to be good, to get back into a place that she had lost by a moment's folly, to lead again a decent life. I believed what she told me. I was mistaken in her. She is bad as a woman can be.
Arthur! Arthur, don't talk so bitterly about any woman. I don't think now that people can be divided into the good and the bad as though they were two separate races or creations. What are called good women may have terrible things in them. Mad moods of recklessness, assertion, jealousy, sin. Bad women, as they are termed, may have in them sorrow, repentance, pity, sacrifice. And I don't think Mrs. Erlynne a bad woman. I know she's not.
She should never have come here.
It's too late, Arthur, to say that now.
Margaret, if you knew where Mrs. Eyre Lynn went last night, after she left this house, you would not sit in the same room with her. It was absolutely shameless, the whole thing.
Arthur, I can't bear it any longer. I must tell you, last night... Oh, Parker. Oh, ask Mrs. Erlynne to be kind enough to come up. Say I shall be very glad to see her.
Margaret, I beg you not to. I beg you not to. Let me see her first at any rate. She's a very dangerous woman. She's the most dangerous woman I know. You don't realise what you're doing.
It is right that I should see her.
How do you do, Lady Windermere? How do you do? Do you know, Lady Windermere, I'm so sorry about your fan. I can't imagine how I made such a silly mistake. Most stupid of me. And as I was driving in your direction, I thought I would take the opportunity of returning your property in person with many apologies for my carelessness and of bidding you goodbye.
Bye? Are you going away then, Mrs. Erlynne?
Yes, I am going to live abroad again. The English climate doesn't suit me. My heart is affected here, and that I don't like. I prefer living in the south. London is too full of fogs and serious people, Lord Windermere. Whether the fogs produce the serious people or whether the serious people produce the fogs, I don't know. But the whole thing rather gets on my nerves. And so I'm leaving this afternoon by the club train.
Shall I never see you again, Mrs. Erlynne?
I'm afraid not. Our lives lie too far apart. But there is just a little thing I'd like you to do for me. I want a photograph of you, Lady Windermere. Would you give me one? You don't know how grateful I should be.
Oh, with pleasure. There is one on the table. I'll show it to you.
It is monstrous, you're intruding yourself here after your conduct last night.
My dear Windermere, manners before morals.
I'm afraid it is very flattering. I'm not so pretty as that.
Oh, you are much prettier. But haven't you got one of yourself with your little boy?
I have. Would you prefer one of those?
Oh, yes.
I'll go and get it for you, if you'll excuse me for a moment. I have one upstairs.
Thanks so much. You seem rather out of temper this morning, Windermere. Why should you be? Margaret and I get along charmingly together.
I can't bear to see you with her. Besides, you have not told me the truth, Mrs. Erlin.
I've not told her the truth, you mean?
I sometimes wish you had. But rather than my wife should know that the mother whom she had taught to consider as dead, the mother whom she had mourned as dead, is living, a divorced woman, going about under an assumed name, a bad woman preying upon life, as I know you now to be. Rather than that, I was ready to supply you money to pay bill after bill, extravagance after extravagance, to risk what occurred yesterday, the first quarrel I've ever had with my wife. And I used to think that with all your faults, you were frank and honest. You were not.
Why do you say that?
You made me get you an invitation to my wife's ball.
For my daughter's ball? Yes.
You came, and within an hour of your leaving, you are found in a man's rooms. You were disgraced before everyone.
Yes.
Therefore, I have a right to look upon you as what you are, a worthless, vicious woman. I have the right to tell you never to enter this house, never to attempt to come near my wife.
My daughter, you mean?
You've no right to claim her as your daughter. You left her, abandoned her when she was but a child in the cradle, abandoned her for your lover, who abandoned you in turn.
Do you count that to his credit, Lord Windermere, or to mine?
To his, now that I know you.
I question that.
I do know that. For 20 years of your life, you lived without your child, without a thought of your child. One day you read in the papers that she had married a rich man. You began your blackmailing.
Don't use ugly words, Windermere, they're vulgar. I saw my chance, it's true, and I took it.
Yes, you took it, and spoiled it all last night by being found out.
You're quite right. I spoiled it all last night.
And as for your blunder in taking my wife's fan from here and then leaving it about in Darlington's rooms, it is unpardonable. I can't bear the sight of it now. I shall never let my wife use it again. The thing is soiled for me. You should have kept it, not brought it back.
I think I shall keep it. It's extremely pretty. I shall ask Margaret to give it to me.
What do you mean by coming here this morning? What is your object?
To bid goodbye to my dear daughter, of course. Oh, don't imagine I'm going to have a pathetic scene with her, weep on her neck and tell her where I am and all that kind of thing. I've no ambition to play the part of a mother. Only once in my life have I known a mother's feelings. That was last night. They were terrible. They made me suffer. They made me suffer too much. For 20 years, as you say, I have been childless. I have lived childless. I want to live childless still. No, as far as I'm concerned, let your wife cherish the memory of this dead, stainless mother. Why should I interfere with her illusions? I find it hard enough to keep my own. I lost one illusion last night. I thought I had no heart. I find I have. And the heart doesn't suit me, Windermere.
I'm sorry now, I did not tell my wife the whole thing at once.
I regret my bad actions. You regret your good ones. That's the difference between us.
I'm going to tell her.
You shall not tell her. I forbid you.
Why?
If I said to you that I cared for her, perhaps loved her even, you'd sneer at me, wouldn't you?
I should feel it was not true. A mother's love means devotion, unselfishness, sacrifice. What can you know of such things?
You're right. What could I know of such things? Don't let us talk about it anymore. As for telling my daughter who I am, that I do not allow. It's my secret. It's not yours. If I make up my mind to tell her, and I think I will, I shall tell her before I leave the house. If not, I shall never tell her.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Erlin, to have kept you waiting. I couldn't find the photograph anywhere. At last I discovered it in my husband's dressing room. He had stolen it.
Oh, I'm not surprised. It's charming. And so that is your little boy. What is he called?
Gerard, after my dear father.
Really?
Yes. If it had been a girl, I would have called it after my mother. My mother had the same name as myself, Margaret.
My name is Margaret too.
Indeed.
Yes. You are devoted to your mother's memory, Lady Windermere, your husband tells me.
We all have ideals in life. At least we all should have. Mine is my mother.
Ideals are dangerous things. Realities are better. They wound, but they're better.
If I lost my ideals, I should lose everything.
Everything?
Yes.
Did your father often speak to you of your mother?
No, it gave him too much pain. He told me how my mother had died a few months after I was born. His eyes filled with tears as he spoke, and he begged me never to mention her name to him again. It made him suffer even to hear it. My father really died of a broken heart. His was the most ruined life I know.
I'm afraid I must go now, Lady Windermere.
Oh no, don't.
Oh, I think I had better. My carriage must have come back by this time. I sent it to Lady Jedburgh's with a note.
Arthur, would you mind seeing if Mrs. Erlin's carriage has come back?
Pray don't trouble Lord Windermere.
Yes, Arthur, do go, please. Oh, what am I to say to you? You saved me last night.
Hush. Don't speak of it.
I must speak of it. I can't let you think that I'm going to accept this sacrifice. I am not. It is too great. I'm going to tell my husband everything. It is my duty.
It is not your duty. At least you have duties to others besides him. You say you owe me something.
I owe you everything.
Then pay your debt by silence. That is the only way in which it can be paid. Don't spoil the one good thing I've done in my life by telling it to anyone. Promise me that what passed last night will remain a secret between us. You must not bring misery into your husband's life. Why spoil his love? You must not spoil it. Love is easily killed. Oh, how easily love is killed. Pledge me your word, Lady Windermere, that you will never tell him. I insist upon it.
It is your will, not mine.
Yes, it is my will.
Your carriage has not come back yet, Mrs. Erlin.
Oh, it makes no matter. I'll take a hansom. And now, dear Lady Windermere, I'm afraid it really is goodbye. Oh, I remember. You'll think me absurd, but do you know, I've taken a great fancy to this fan that I was silly enough to run away with last night from your ball. Now I wonder, would you give it to me? Lord Windermere says you may. I know it's his present.
Oh, certainly, if it will give you any pleasure. But it has my name on it. It has Margaret on it.
But we have the same Christian name.
Oh, I forgot. Of course, do have it. What a wonderful chance, our names being the same.
Quite wonderful. Thanks. It will always remind me of you.
Good morning, dear boy. Good morning, Lady Windermere. Mrs. Erlin.
How do you do, Lord Augustus? Are you quite well this morning?
Quite well, thank you, Mrs.
You
Erlin.
don't look at all well, Lord Augustus. You stay up too late. It's so bad for you. You really should take more care of yourself. Goodbye, Lord Windermere. Lord Augustus, won't you see me to my carriage? You might carry the fan. Of course I desire it. You'll carry it so gracefully. You'd carry off anything gracefully, dear Lord Augustus.
You will never speak against Mrs. Erlin again, Arthur, will you?
She is better than one thought her.
She is better than I am.
You and she belong to different worlds. Into your world, evil has never entered.
Don't say that, Arthur. There is the same world for all of us, and good and evil, sin and innocence go through it hand in hand. To shut one's eyes to half of life that one may live securely is as though one blinded oneself that one might walk with more safety in a land of pit and precipice.
Darling, why do you say that?
Because I, who would shut my eyes to life, came to the brink, and one who had separated us.
We were never separated.
We never must be again. Oh, Arthur, don't love me less, and I will trust you more. I will trust you absolutely. Let us go to Selby. In the rose garden at Selby, the roses are white and red.
Arthur, she's explained everything. My dear fellow, she's explained every damn thing. We all wronged her immensely. She has explained everything. It was entirely for my sake that she went to Darlington's rooms, called first at the club, in fact, wanted to put me out of suspense. Being told I'd gone on, followed naturally, frightened when she heard a lot of us coming in, retired into another room. Assure you, most gratifying to me, the whole thing. We all behaved brutally to her. She is just the woman for me, suits me down to the ground, and the condition she makes is that we live entirely out of England. A very good thing too. Damn clubs, damn climate, damn cooks, damned everything. Sick of it all.
Has Mrs. Erlin?
Yes, Lady Windermere. Mrs. Erlin has done me the honour of accepting my hand.
Well, you are certainly marrying a clever woman.
Oh, you're marrying a very good woman.